Now that we know what an IRA is and who can get one, um, are there different types of IRAs that we should be aware about?
There's a couple of different kinds of IRAs that are the most common that you're going to run into. One is called the traditional, the other is called the Roth. Now, the traditional's been around for a lot longer, and it's the IRA that most people are more familiar with. So, with a traditional IRA, you put money into the account. Most people will get an immediate tax break in the form of a deduction for how much they put in. So if they put in $1,000 into their traditional IRA, then they'll get $1,000 tax write-off off of their taxable income. That'll generate some tax savings right away. Now the Roth IRA is a little bit different. With a Roth IRA, you don't get an upfront deduction for the amount that you contribute. But unlike a traditional IRA, you get a big tax break down the line. With a Roth IRA, when you take money out of it in retirement, it's tax free. With a traditional IRA, you have to pay taxes on those deferrals that you've been getting the benefit of for all those years and decades. IRS at the end of the traditional IRA finally decides, hey, they're going to get their share in the form of taxes. But with a Roth IRA, you don't have that. And so the question becomes, what's more valuable to you, that upfront tax break or the bigger tax break down the road?
Right. And depending on where you are in your life, specifically how much money you're making, it can help you decide which one you should get, a Roth or a traditional.
That's true. And really, the thing to think about is you're going to take two things. You look at how much you'd have to pay in taxes now, and then you compare that with a guess as to how much you'd have to pay in taxes when you retire. And that's going to guide your decision. For most people who are younger, their earnings are a little bit lower, their tax bracket is pretty low. Generally makes sense to take advantage of the Roth IRA because even if you get that tax break, it might not be worth very much to you. It might not be worth anything to you, especially if you're in like that babysitting or that the mowing lawn situation. You're not going to be in a situation where that tax savings amounts to anything anyway. And so moving your money into a Roth IRA instead of a traditional IRA makes a lot more sense. Now, if you're in the middle of your career, you're in your high earning years, then it becomes a little bit trickier. And often, because if you're in the highest income period of your lifetime, it makes more sense to go traditional because that tax write-off that you get, it's worth the most because you're in the highest tax bracket. The tax savings for that write-off is the biggest that it's ever going to be.
I really wish that you had been around when I was 18, when I opened my first IRA, because when I opened my first IRA, I opened a traditional one because I asked the lady at the bank what kind of IRA I should get. And she said, oh, definitely a traditional. And I was like, oh, what's the difference? And she's like, oh, it's not important.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is important,
it is important.
but it does go to, it speaks to the fact that there's a lot of confusion out there, even among financial professionals, as far as the ins and outs of the IRAs are concerned. And so it's really important for you to check out reputable sources of information to find out what you need to know to make a smart decision.